What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I picked up some fragrances from FragranceBuy once again. We got a Boss Bottled Flanker. We've got a Lacoste, one of the match point fragrances. I went with the Eau de Parfum, and I finally picked up Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Extreme. I've been procrastinating, scooping that up for a while. So we're going to bust these open and check them out. Though I have smelled Boss Bottled Parfum once at the very beginning of the year, and I have smelled this on a test strip once, like 2 years ago. I'm definitely not familiar enough with them, and this is a complete blind buy, but this is a FragranceBuy haul that I did pick these up. They did not send these to me. We're going to bust them open, check them out, see what's worthwhile, see if I wasted money on anything, or did I pick up some goodies. Stay tuned. So before we jump into this video is brought to you by the good folks over at FragranceBuy. They partner with the TLTG Reviews fragrance channel monthly to bring you fragrance content. And now they have their Customer of the Year contest going, where it's a fun and engaging activity for the fragrance community to partake in. It's going to be open from September 29th, the day this video goes live, all the way till January 9th of 2024. Every winner gets free shipping over $99 for 1 year until the end of 2024. Share your fragrance preferences, engage in fun daily tasks, and celebrate your experience with FragranceBuy to gain entries for a chance to win. Over 15 exciting ways to enter and maximize your choices. I'll have the discount code on screen as well as down in the description for buy one, get one 20% off, and you get 50 entries to the contest whenever you place an order by entering your order number in the contest. So grand prize is going to be $500, second prize of $250, third prize of $100. So definitely check that out if you're interested in entering. Now let's get into this video. So it only makes sense that we're going to start with the fragrance that I have never smelled before. This is Lacoste Match Point. This is the Eau de Parfum. I have not smelled the line. I'm not familiar with it. I saw the bottle, said, ooh, that looks cool. Let me try that. I haven't seen that on here before. That's literally how that went. So the bottle does look cool. It has a lot of heft to it as well. It is pretty damn nice, not gonna lie. It has this dark, like forest green, almost black, down to a lighter green to clear. It says Match Point. See if the cap holds. Cap holds pretty well. Clicks into place. Has a little bit of heft, not made of metal, but atomizers lined up. That's always good. Never looked at the notes, so it's gonna be completely blind, and we'll cross-reference the notes here in just a little bit. Good atomizer. That's familiar. That seems very familiar. If it's not something I've smelled before, which I think it might be, it just has that, mass appealing feel to it. That's very familiar. It's a little fruity. Some greens to it. There's a strong woody presence early on with this one, though. That's familiar. It smells familiar. I don't know if I've smelled anything in particular like it, but it feels like I have. I do like that, though. There's this interesting fruity nuance, a little bit of a kind of fresh, spicy feel to it. It's woodsy, a little green. Solid everyday stuff, nothing that's going to blow anyone's mind. No, not a must-have kind of fragrance where if you run across it for a good price, you take a shot on it, basically. I'm not blown away, but it's a nice fragrance. It's just, it doesn't come across as special. Let's pull up the notes on this.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
So Match Point came out in 2021. It's got decent ratings on Parfumo. Fresh, citrus, sweet, green, and creamy. Agree with all of that. Grapefruit, lemon, and pink pepper. Gentian, Absolute, some kind of floral, lavender, cardamom, cashmeran, cypriol, Haitian vetiver, patchouli. So cypriol can have a little bit of an earthy green, slightly woody nuance. You got Haitian vetiver, that's going to be a fresh woody nuance. And cashmeran's a soft, somewhat sensual wood note, synthetic wood note. But yeah, that makes sense. You've got aromatics with pink pepper and lavender. You've got a little bit of fresh spice from this cardamom because it doesn't warm it up. If anything, it adds kind of a minty freshness to it. Cardamom does kind of stand out a little bit more now that it's settling in, but it's nice. I don't think it's special. According to this, similar is just the eau de toilette, but it kind of reminds me, it says users who like this also like Legend Night from Mont Blanc, Presence from Mont Blanc, Wanted by Night, Moustache EDP. No, I don't think it smells like Moustache EDP. So it's familiar and I can't pinpoint it, but it does have this fruity, like it comes across more fruity than just citrus. It's grapefruit and lemon. I guess maybe mixing with the pink pepper and whatever this gentian, I don't know, will have been on screen. I've never heard of this note before. That might be creating, kind of helping to create this kind of strange fruity nuance that I think I'm getting here. I think it's solid. It's not special, but it's definitely not a bad fragrance. It's easygoing, mass appealing. It smells familiar, but it also doesn't stand out like, ooh, that's kind of like this. So with that said, I think it's very good. I don't think it's great though, but 7 out of 10. I think that's a good rating for this one because it does smell decent, doesn't smell too synthetic, doesn't come across as super cheap. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to have to spend some time with it. Moving into the autumn season, I feel like this is a good daytime fragrance for that. A casual daytime fragrance, or maybe going out and have lunch, something like that. Work fragrance. That's nice. Cardamom's kind of taking hold of this fragrance too. It's solid. 7 out of 10. Okay, now, Boss Bottled Parfum. Now, I was traveling abroad. I did a first impressions video off of one spray on my hand, and it was in Frankfurt, over in Germany. I mean, the notes are right here. Mandarin incense. I know it's an iris leather smoky kind of thing going on here. So, mandarin incense, orris, fig tree roots accord, cedar wood, and vegetal leather accord. I remember liking it, but I remember also thinking, wow, this smells nothing like Boss Bottled. And that was kind of a knock for it. Beautiful black bottle that is transparent with, is it gold lettering? That is some gold lettering. Got to focus on the bottle. Here we go. So not quite the same as the Elixir bottle, but I've been wanting to grab this because this kind of got a, I want to say it didn't get a fair shake from a lot of people. It didn't get the warmest of receptions. But I mean, if you don't look at it as it needs to smell like Boss Bottled, which I mean, come on, to be called Boss Bottled Parfum, it really should smell somewhat like Boss Bottled. But iris, incense, a leather accord, I mean, come on. What's not to get excited about, right? Give that a second. See, it's dark. It's this resinous feel, almost like this. Like a rich olibanum and amber kind of combination here. Maybe even a little myrrh. Give a light, sweet, balsamic feel. Nice and smoky. That fig offers kind of this slightly bitter, woody tone. I know there's cedar wood in here, and I'm sure that's playing a part with the woodiness, but in the leather here, it definitely doesn't smell like your typical leather accord. I guess it kind of, I can relate it a little bit to like Boss Bottled's Dry Down, but there's no apple, there's no fruitiness, there's no bright cinnamon, there's no sharpness to it. Because I always think of Boss Number 6. I always try to tie a Boss Bottled flanker to Boss Number 6, as you should. It's the original, right? The faintest of similarities. It's like trying to tie Sauvage Elixir to Sauvage. You gotta really try. You gotta convince yourself it's there in the background when it's pretty damn hard to find the similarity. And that's kind of what's going on here. Now, as a standalone, you take that it should smell more like Boss Bottled out of it and just judge it by itself. It's a really nice, dark, nuanced fragrance. It's a little earthy green. It's woodsy and resinous and smoky. A little dry. It's not a bad fragrance. I like it more than the Lacoste fragrance. It has more of an appeal to an enthusiast, I think, anyways, because I definitely consider myself a fragrance enthusiast. I'm digging it. We'll We'll pull the notes up from Parfumo, even though the official notes were on the back of the box.
12 seconds later.
So they were kind to it on Parfumo, kind of what I'm planning on giving it. It's what it's rated, which we'll discuss in a second, since I'm thinking the same thing. Woody, spicy, fresh, sweet, and fruity. Of course, we already know the mandarin orange, frankincense, orris, fig tree, root accord, cedar wood, and vegetal leather. It says leathery notes here, but the vegetal leather. I do think it's a very good fragrance. I don't think it's the best Boss Bottled flanker. With the Elixir existing already at this point, being the 2023 release, this was last year's release, that's far superior to this. Neither really smell like Boss Bottled. I mean, maybe a little more out of the Elixir, but neither really smell like Boss Bottled. But they also don't smell all that redundant to one another, even though they both center around incense. There is a little redundancy. I'll have to do a comparison video between the two. Definitely comment down below if you'd like to see a comparison video between Boss Bottled Parfum and Boss Bottled Elixir. So what they rated it here was a 7.5 out of 10 with 149 ratings, and I think that's a good spot for this. This is very good at a 7.5 out of 10. It's not incredible. It's not mind-blowingly good. I don't think I would rank it in the top 3 Boss Bottled flankers, but it could possibly make the top 5. So there's that. You know, it's absolutely in the top 10, top 7, but it might be able to crack into the top 5 here, possibly the top 3 after I give it a few wearings, but that's not the most relevant thing because it's just my opinion. It's not the end-all be-all of opinions, but man, if you like a slightly dry, earthy, smoky smell, very resinous, you'll probably like this. Very good 7.5 out of 10 for Boss Bottled Parfum. Last but not least, I guess you can kind of look at this as the main event because it's Guerlain. It's one of the greatest lines ever, in my opinion, especially being central focused around almond. We have Guerlain L'Homme, Ideal Extreme. This is the tobacco flanker. I remember it being nice and earthy and robust and rich. This was also on a test strip, and this was over 2 years ago. This was probably like 2.5 years ago in one of our very first Chicago meetups with Justin. We did a blind smelling rate. Might have been the very first blind smelling rate I ever did on Justin's channel, but it was on, I've never had it on skin. And it's been so long, I don't really remember it all that well. Sprayed right away. We'll give it another spritz. I love this line. My favorite is the L'Intense. Nice and smoky, leathery. The sweetness is toned back a little bit from the EDT and the Eau de Parfum. And I'm just curious with this one. It's been a little while. I mean, there's no bad fragrances in this line. So much better than the other two. Guerlain. Guerlain. It's amazing. Oh, man, that's good. Fruity. Maybe plum, I want to say. I want to say plum. I think that's what it is. God, this is so good. Juicy, fruity, like a little astringent in the way the spiciness comes across. This is fantastic. Man, this is a good fragrance. I've been putting off too long getting it. So good. This one's so good. And some of you watching this, you know this. You have it. It's probably your favorite in the line. I could see this being a lot of people's favorite. I'm not going to crown it on basically a glorified first impressions here. I'm not going to crown it as my favorite. I got to spend some time with it. I mean, I literally have my travel atomizer for the L'Intense right here if I ever get in the mood to spray. It's literally right here within arm's reach. Let's pull these notes up.
More moments later.
It's been out for 3 years. It came out in 2020. 8.4 out of 10 with 558 ratings. I mean, I don't disagree. Sweet, spicy, fruity, leathery, oriental. So almond, bergamot, pink pepper, cinnamon, heliotrope, plum. There you go. It smells like it too. Very distinctive. Tobacco, leather, patchouli, cedar. I mean, it immediately smells like a more animalistic, earthy version of the original. You still have the sweetness that you'll find in the EDT. This line has always been flankered correctly. You can always time the Sport, Cool, Cologne. Haven't tried Platine Privé, the newest one yet, Heard it's very similar to cologne, but L'Intense Eau de Parfum, you've always been able, you always can, and probably always will be able to tie directly to the eau de toilette. You smell the eau de toilette in all of them. That's the proper way to do it. Take the original and twist and turn it. Don't make new fragrances and just slap same name on it. This is done in an expert manner. This is such a good way to put tobacco, incorporate tobacco into this line. This is an outstanding 9 out of 10. This is an incredible fragrance. It deserves high praise. It's gotten high praise from many, many people. I've put off getting it for so freaking long. No better time than the present. We're moving into the fall. It's a prime time season to wear this, to have it, to put it in rotation. It's fantastic. The spice isn't overdone. The pink pepper offers a little bit of vibrance and sweetness, not just peppered spice, because you got some cinnamon here. That's where your warm, spicy nuance comes in. But the juiciness of this plum really intensifies everything. I think the juiciness really enhances the overall enjoyment of the composition and adds a wow factor to it, to be honest with you, because this is an impressive smell. This is a gorgeous aroma. It deserves the 9. Some people would probably even give it a 10, but I'm super scarce with those 10s. But, you know, easily a 9 out of 10. Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Extreme. Well, that's the video. 3 new additions to the collection just in time for the fall. All 3 of these are going to be great for the fall because literally it's kind of a wardrobe because Match Point, great daytime, evenings, or special occasions because it's just so smoky. I think we'd go with the Parfum here. It's powdery, it's floral, you know, whereas just a out to dinner fragrance, because this is intoxicating stuff. L'Homme Ideal Extreme, for sure. Kind of a diverse collection for the fall right there. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. And I love hearing from you guys. How many of you have tried all 3, just one of them? First time hearing anything about it. There's going to be some of everybody that see this video, and I appreciate you watching this video. I really do. If you're interested in picking any of these up, there are some links down below. Definitely check out the Customer of the Year contest FragranceBuy is running if you're interested, and put that code to use. If you're a regular shopping at FragranceBuy like I am, I buy fragrances at minimum once a month, usually like 2 to 3, sometimes 4 times a month from them, depending on what drops. I'm always hovering around that new arrivals page. Definitely check it out down below. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of these 3 and you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.